Cross the rainbow bridge of Asgard, where the booming heavens roar. You'll behold in breathless wonder the god of thunder, mighty Thor.
Hey YouTube community, it's Chris, Vancouver Comic Junkie. It has been a long time, hasn't it? I apologize. This summer has been the worst summer of my life. COVID, not working, just started work actually. Super stoked about that. The film industry is back, and it's exciting actually. But I had my mother passed away about I guess 7 weeks ago now, which was a pretty bitter pill to swallow. And it's in another province in Canada. A lot of traveling. I have a special needs brother who needs taken care of. It's been a handful to deal with, but it you know, it is what it is. I hate saying that, but it was a horrible time. Saying that, I had a second thing happen just last week. My best friend from childhood passed away as well, Matt, which is fairly gutting. But when these things happen, guys, you have to start looking into yourself a little bit and not dwelling on just the negative. You need to mourn a bit, but at the same time, you need to take care of yourself. That's the one thing I've learned in 2 months of kind of being in a bit of hell, is you got to take care of yourself. And one of those things for me, taking care of myself, is buying comics, collecting them, doing all we do with them, CGCing them and having fun. It definitely brings a lot of joy to my life, talking to people about it. It's one of those things for me that has helped, and it's very therapeutic for me. And I've been really fortunate that I have a great group of people in my life who have been super supportive. So I want a huge shout out to my buddy Rich Revis, Big Revy Comics in Calgary. That guy is a lifesaver. He's just been there for me 1,000%, as not just a friend, but as a fellow collector. And we've just been tearing up my old home province of Alberta. Whenever I'm back there, he takes me around and we just go buy books just for fun. And it's been a joy, really been a joy. And I guess that the real reason why you're all here is probably to look at books, because that's why we all are here, aren't we? So why don't we look at some? I picked up a lot. I'm sorry I don't have a lot of CGC books. I have so many books sitting at pressing right now and about to go out through Greg and Greg Pressing in Winnipeg. Greg Gurr, look him up on Facebook. Best presser in the world. I love him. And check him out. He's about to send off a bunch of stuff for me. And I guess CGC's been fairly quick lately, so we should have something in the next 6 weeks to 2 months. Until then, I got plenty of stuff to keep us busy. Just lots of pickups, lots of mail calls, lots of little weird things. I haven't been, you know, my brain hasn't been super focused, so I've been just kind of like, see what there is, checking it out. And in turn, I found a few things. Big fan of this book. This is a Fantastic Four book, which a few years ago I did not collect Fantastic Four at all. I wasn't even interested, but now I'm huge into it. I love FF. I think everyone does. I think just the idea that there's a movie coming that could be properly done has invigorated us. And then once you fall in love with these Kirby covers, you can't go wrong. So I picked this up. This is my second copy of this at an 8.0, oddly enough. It was just too good a price to turn down. It's first Agatha Harkness, who you're going, who? And it's also the first appearance of Medusa in the Frightful Four, which I don't know much about. But sure. But Agatha Harkness, rumor is she's one of the big baddies in the WandaVision series. These books can be had for nothing. She's a cool character, and again, I'm just dying to see what they do with her. It would be cool if she was implemented into the MCU and became a bigger character. If that's the case, that'd be awesome, because I went and picked up a raw copy too. And just another, saw it there. It was probably half of what it's going for. It's a nice copy. I would say it's roughly an 8.0 to 8.5, maybe better. depending on what we get with the press, but it's got a little bit of a dog ear here, which, you know, I'm not going to complain. I think I paid $21 for it. So that's a win. So we got that. So yeah, I picked those up. Pretty happy with that. This is a neat book I'm coming out. I love this book. I now have 2 of these in this grade. I believe in this character, and I think you should too. Machine Man. I love this guy. People probably remember back in the 80s, Barry Windsor-Smith did this Machine Man limited series. Back when Barry Windsor-Smith was kind of changing his style and he became like amazing. And I was so blown away by this character. He floored me. I couldn't get enough of him. Outside of the Barry Windsor-Smith series, I could care less. But in that series, just loved looking at that stuff. And I'm an artist as well, you know, for work, and so I was drawn to the artwork, obviously, and you know, the characters always kind of had a little soft spots for me. I really think that there's a future with this guy at some point. I don't know when. There's a chance he could be the next Vision, for all we know. He has options, and they're cheap. 9/8 are cheap. You can get these for cheap. Why not? Grab a couple. I did. So I believe in this book. I think it's cool. Another book I picked up that I have a few of is Century Number 1. I think this is my favorite modern book. It's 9/8. It's a beautiful cover by Jay Lee. I just love this cover. I think I've probably shown off this book before. Not this actual copy, but others like it. I have a few of these. He's an odd character because, unfortunately, if they were to bring him into the MCU or do anything really major with him, he's kind of like Superman. And I don't really like characters like Superman because I don't like all too powerful characters that basically are stronger than everyone else, and you know, where's the drama? But this guy, for some reason, just sings to me. I dig him, and they're pretty reasonable. You know, for 9/8 for what they are, they're going for a pretty good price. And there's actual other ones too. There's a San Diego Comic-Con cover, and then there's another cover, but I can't remember who did it. But I love this one. This is my favorite cover. I think it's gold to me. What else do I have? Ooh. Oh, here's a neat one. A Strange Tales, 157. I picked another one of these up. These are the cameo to the Living Tribunal. Living Tribunal books. The 158 is kind of his first full appearance, and that seems to be the market has dictated that's his first appearance because everyone's going after it. Prices are really going up in the last week on that book. Well, not last week, last couple of months. I have a few of those that I snapped up a few years ago, and I'm happy I did because it's starting to get pricey. But this one's a really neat one because it's like it's the cameo one. It's kind of the Hulk 180 to the 181, which is 158 on the other one. Living Tribunal is a very, very neat character, and I think he's a character you should pay attention to. I think with all this cosmic talk happening and all that sort of jazz, we've got some opportunity for, you know, the ultimate judge of the universe to step in and show his power. I'd like to see that. I think it would be pretty neat. And with James Gunn involved in the MCU and stuff, I'd really like to see that. And I just love these beautiful Stranko covers. I mean, look at that beautiful coloring. They're just fun. I could just, even if nothing's happened with this book, it's just nice to have in the collection. And they're really reasonably priced, guys. Really worth getting. People aren't paying attention to that book. They're definitely paying attention to the brother book of it. Here's another odd book I picked up. This one is Thor 154. This is something that I don't want to admit to myself because I collect too much stuff, but I think the Thor Kirby covers are the best covers of the Silver Age. One of the greatest things about them is they're all pretty reasonably priced. Outside of like the first appearance of Warlock and 134, there's a couple others that are a little pricey, but generally you can get most of these in VF, which I think is a great grade for a Silver Age book. Bright, cheery, happy copies. well under 50 bucks. I've been noticing, I've been seeing around because people just aren't paying attention to them. And there is a ton of first appearance. This is the first appearance of a god. Great character too. Potential villain fodder for the future. I don't really care. I just love that cover. I just love all these covers. This is now my new secret little filthy shame, is that I'm just going to keep buying these Thor covers. I can't get enough of them. And you're just going to see more, so get used to it. I hope you enjoy that. What's another book I got here? Ooh. So I was in my hometown, and I was really down in the dumps. I was hanging out with some friends, everything, you know, great friends to kind of taking care of me. I was in a real sad place, and one thing that always makes me happy is comic books. And so I looked up on Craigslist, and I saw there was a garage sale down the street from me. And so or not a garage sale, sorry, a comic store down the street from me. And it was like a card store. And I ended up kind of going in there, and some guy was in there trying to sell comics, and they don't deal with comics. So I said, I'll take a look. And I wandered over to his house, and he had like his long box of pretty cool books. And I'll show more of them later, but I was able to grab some fun stuff actually out of it. I paid like $100 for a big stack of pretty cool books, like things like, you know, Hulk 340. It's not the best shape ever, but it's Hulk 340. It's like an 8.0. I think I paid $5 for it, so I do that all day long. But it's, you know, that's like one of those classic, super classic Copperidge covers. That's my childhood right there, and I really dig it. I've never actually owned a copy since I was a kid, and I couldn't tell you where that copy is now. It's probably sitting in someone else's collection. But I used to sit around and draw this cover as a kid and try and mimic McFarlane's style. I wasn't particularly great at it, but I tried. So anyway, Hulk 340, it's a book we should all have. Here's an odd one. This is an odd book, and I'm going back to the FFs, Fantastic Four. I am digging them all, and there's so many neat little first appearances that I dig picking up. And I don't even really care if they're related to the MCU or there's a lot of investment involved in it. Excuse me, I'm burping over here. Anyway, pepperoni sticks. Yeah. Anyway, this book is a book that is a bit of a joke, but at the same time, there's a potential spec in it. So I'm gonna throw you out FF209, first appearance of Herbie. I don't know if you guys remember Herbie. Back in the 80s, there was a cartoon for FF, and they got rid of Human Torch. The story is that they were worried that kids would light themselves on fire because they didn't want them emulating the Human Torch. That's actually bullshit. The real story is they had licensed out Human Torch to someone else, and they couldn't use him. When you had Fantastic 3, it doesn't sound as good as Fantastic 4, so they brought in Herbie. You can see Herbie right there. He's pretty lame. But I was thinking about it, and I think this is one of those characters that you could retrofit for today. He could be a character that takes care of people, or he could be, I don't know, he could be so many things. He could be their bodyguard in this tiny little thing. I don't know. The future is full of possibilities. I'm probably just lying to myself. More than likely I am, but I don't care. That's the beauty of comics. We live in a dream world anyway. But anyway, I'm going to leave you with this as my last book for this video, and I have plenty more videos to come. But FF209, it's a cheap book. First appearance of Herbie. Herbie, come on, it's Herbie. Anyway, thanks for coming back. Again, I apologize for being on so long. And I also promise you, I have so many videos to come now. My life's starting to come back into its normal place. The film industry's kicked into gear. I'm getting gigs left, right, and center. Life's getting good. It's starting to come around, and I've got a few more months of mourning, probably years, a lifetime maybe. But I'm just lying to myself. But I'm gonna just keep plugging away at this because I really enjoy doing this. I really enjoy your company. I enjoy your questions. I enjoy your friendship. I love when you come over to my IG, Vancouver Comic Junkie. I love it. Come on over, befriend me. I'll befriend you. We'll have a big old community. It'll be fun. Anyway, it was great to have you, and I will see you very soon.
And in sports today,
Hey!
The picture's gone.
It's the antenna!